Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at this Maxfree S1 laptop screen extender. So this was provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description. And if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So this is 14 inches, 1920 by 1080. So it's 1080p, 60 Hertz. 300 candela per square meter, 1000 to 1 contrast ratio. Here we have some specs on the back. You can pause and read through those. Let's get this open. It's a nice case. So here's the monitor. If we pull this out, we have cables and the manual. Looks like we have 2 user guides here. Yeah, they kind of have the same thing. I think this is the quick start guide. So this comes with 3 cables. It comes with a USB-A to USB Type-C power cable. It comes with a USB Type-C to Type-C cable. And it comes with HDMI to Type-C. And I'll go over how those can be used. So here's the monitor. This shows the configuration. I'll just go over this. I think it's pretty straightforward. So here we have the monitor. It comes in this case. So it has a handle on it. We have a little pouch off to the side so you can put cables in there. Let's pull this out. So this is spring loaded here. There's a little peelable plastic here. Let's get that off. Nice. So if you've ever used like a selfie stick that has a spring loaded phone holder, this is kind of like that. So we can pull this open. And then this will fold open. So this will clamp to your laptop. Here's the second screen. This has a foot that comes out. Now to lower this, you twist this up. You can see this little flag sticks out and pull it down, and then you can rotate it to the right or left to set it at a certain height until you get to the bottom. So you have it perpendicular when you want to slide it, and you turn it to left or right to lock it. And this is a very soft rubber right down here. Now if we look on the back of the monitor, we have 3 ports here. We have 2 Type-C ports and HDMI. It looks like the HDMI is also Type-C. We have speaker here, and we have a control up here. Let's take a look at the cables. So here's a USB Type-C to HDMI cable, and here we have Type-C to Type-C. It says, please connect this port to our product. So this angled one connects into the back of the monitor. And here's USB Type-C to USB Type-A. So let me get my laptop and we'll hook this up. So if you have a more modern laptop with USB Type-C output that can also output video on USB Type-C, so that would include the MacBooks, probably like Surface and Chromebooks, then you could potentially just use one cable to power and send video to the monitor. So I may need that manual to make sure I plug it in right. So in my case, I have HDMI. I'll plug that into HDMI. And then I'll plug the USB-C to USB-A cable into Type-C1. Let's try that. So let's get my laptop over here. So this is an early 2015 MacBook Pro, but it should work just the same with other laptops. So this is going to sit to the right of the monitor. So I'll set this over here, and there's a little flip out on the top like that, and we'll rest that on top of the monitor. Actually, if I pull the monitor up straight first, I think that'll be a little easier. So I have it on the right side, the top, and I'll pull the left side out when we get on camera and clip it over the left side of the laptop. Like so. So I'll lift up on this a little bit until it's centered. Now I'm going to pull that foot out of the back to give it support when I put my monitor back. So this is all the way down. I probably would normally want it up a little higher, maybe about like that. So now my monitor screen is supported by that kickstand. Although this hinge on this laptop seems like it could support it on its own, but I would recommend using the kickstand. So we're down on the kickstand. We have the monitor over here. This does have a protective coating on it. Let me get that off. Okay, I'm going to turn off my studio light here. Let's plug this in. So we have HDMI plugged in, and I'll plug USB in on the other side of my laptop to power it. Okay, so it's powering up. And here we have the laptop screen and the extended screen. So I did some testing here. If you only have HDMI, you want to plug into HDMI and then plug into one of the USB-C ports to something with USB-C power, like your laptop or cell phone charger. If your laptop can supply video and power on one USB-C port, you can plug into either of these by itself with this cable. If your laptop has USB-C video but can't supply power, then you would plug in with USB-C to one of these ports and then use the USB-C to USB-A on the other port. And that will plug into a cell phone charger or other USB power source. Let me turn the brightness up on my main screen. So now they're more in line with each other. This screen is very bright, and I am running off battery power right now. So let's go into the display settings, and you can do this on Windows also. You go into the settings. On the Mac, I'm going to System Preferences. If you're on a newer Mac, it will just be called Settings. I'll go to Displays. And here we can see my monitor arrangement. So they're right next to each other. If I grab the top of this window and drag it over here, you can see I'm extending the screen. So I can go to display settings. Now this is a Retina display, that's a 1080p display. But let's do mirroring. So on a Mac here I say use as main display, I'll say mirror for S1. And now we're mirroring the two displays. So now if I move this, we're seeing the same thing on both displays. I think of mirroring more likely to be used when you have something like a large TV or a projector. I'm guessing most people will use this as an extended monitor. So let me go back to that mode. I'll stop mirroring. And here this is on the right side here. If this is set up wrong, like this is on the left side, you can just drag it to the right side. You could actually make that your main monitor also. So let me change the resolution on my internal monitor. So I'm going to hit scaled and I'll click on this where it's more space. See what that looks like. Okay, I'll try the most space. Okay, so these are more equitable now. So they're similar resolution. So I'll close this. So let's say I'm doing some web development or something. I can open up a web page and I can bring that over to my second monitor. I could even do it full screen. And then on my main monitor, I could open up something like Visual Studio Code. So here I could edit my code and I could go over to my extended screen to see the changes being made. Without a second monitor, you'd have to switch back and forth between screens. This is a much nicer setup. Now this has settings on it just like a regular monitor. So in the upper left here, there's the little toggle. If we go to the left, it's going to have us in brightness mode. So we can turn the brightness up or down. It was at 70%. It can go up to 100%. So that's very bright. Now, the brighter this is, the faster it's going to drain your laptop battery if you're not plugged in. Let's turn that back down to 70. So I push that little toggle to the left. The direction you push it, the first time you push it, will determine which mode you're going into. So if you want to adjust the brightness, push it to the left. If you want to adjust the volume, push it to the right. So we push it to the right once, and we have a volume adjustment. From that point, since it's on the screen, you can turn it left or right. So that gets me to the next point, is the audio can be set to come out through this monitor. So there are different ways to set that up. On a Mac, I have it in my menu bar, but you can also go to your settings and go to sound. And if you go to output, I currently have it set to internal speakers type built-in, and we can switch it to S1 HDMI. So when we do that, the audio will now come out that monitor. Let me play something over there. So here's a video. Let me just play the video on that screen. I'm full screen, I need to unfull screen. Oh, yeah, volume will be adjusted here. So they're not huge speakers, but I think they work just fine for the intended task. So we adjusted brightness by going to the left, sound by going to the right. We can press in to get a menu, and we have a little menu down here. It's kind of hard to see. Let me adjust my camera. I'll get the video out of here. It's kind of distracting. So here we have a standard menu like you'd see in any monitor. So you can see the different modes we have. There's picture modes, color temp, on-screen display, aspect ratio, auto power down, HDR mode, signal source. Even though this is a small portable monitor, you still have all the features you'd have in a regular desktop monitor. Now I have this plugged into a laptop, but this is a standard HDMI port, so you could plug this into a video game console, like a PlayStation, a Switch, Xbox. You could plug it into a Blu-ray player, DVD player, a Fire TV. Now a Fire TV, you'd need an adapter unless you use something like a Fire TV Cube. You could plug this right into that, or any other device that has HDMI. So that's the Maxfree S1 laptop screen extender. Many of us have used second monitors on our desktop computers, and once you start doing that, you really don't want to go back. Then when you switch to a laptop, you're stuck with a single screen again. With a monitor extender like this, it allows you to have the same experience on your laptop that you would get on a desktop. So this would be great for people who do remote work. You could pull your laptop out in a hotel room, on the desk, set your second monitor up, and you have all that screen real estate ahead of you. I really like the picture quality of this. It looks as good as my laptop monitor does. Now this is a glossy screen. This is a matte screen. I think there's pros and cons to both, but I do like matte screens. And when you're done using this, you can just unplug it, like so. We'll pull the spring clamp off. You can fold it in half. I folded that top thing down. And we'll open the spring clamp up so it can clamp to itself. We'll put the kickstand back in, unplug the cables, and here we can slide it into the bag. Then you just put your cables in there and you're ready to take it with you. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.